Okay, so let's go to Mr. Tiger Yu, the strategy and technology consultant from Harmonyplus. And Tiger is got his BA major in computer science, minor in creative writing from University of Colorado Boulder, and also he got an MA in instructional technology and media from Columbia University. So Tiger, please give your presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I was just gonna say that thanks for mass sharing, because it's very good to hear that the debate camp can stop a nuclear war in the future, and that's why we do education. I'll share my presentation now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm here mainly to talk about my experience as I constantly apply to STEM programs, both in my undergrad and my graduate experience. So first of all, my company is called Harmonyplus. We are the official partner of leading universities and institutions in the States. For example, UC Berkeley and SRI International and San Jose State University. These are only the universities on the West Coast, and we do provide top-notch programs to outstanding local and international students. So this is me. So I majored in computer science and minored in creative writing before at University of Colorado at Boulder. A lot of people ask me, why do I take the creative writing? It's just my interest. I would not done it in another way. So, and I just got my master's degree program this May. So about a month ago, I graduated from Columbia University, majored in instructional technology and media. In short, it's basically education technology. For example, some of the LMS programs on the websites, for example, Canvas and Blackboard, the things you guys all sing if you guys are in college or high school, those are all in our scope of research. So I want to talk mainly about the application process that I went through, and to my knowledge, this is still very true to this day. So test, it was always important, and it is still important. I know a lot of people, a lot of information even listed on the profession websites are saying that test is optional now, but that only means that the computation is gonna be even worse, because nobody's looking at the test scores. And sometimes, our students have the best test score, and if it's test optional, it really depends on the resume experience and a lot of other things that that's not including your test package. So do your AP course, IB, and A-level. In my when I was in high school, I did the A-level course, which is from British education system. Still, I highly recommend those. It is quite difficult comparing to AP and IB, but it also covers a large portion of United States first year college knowledge. And for the graduate students, GRE, it's still, I think to a lot of programs, this is still very important, especially to STEM program. For example, Columbia Engineering School most of the programs requires GRE still. Some of the arts and humanities program, they are taking down the GRE requirement, but in the next, say, 2 to 3 years, I think everybody should still consider standardized test a very significant factor inside our application. So the school list, when I was doing my application to STEM program, I actually talked to a bunch of professors, especially after undergrad. There are multiple factors placing, and after the 4 year of undergrad program, you notice some of the things you missed when you actually applied to your undergrad. So for example, location-wise, is the place you're applying to, is the school, is the campus, is the college town, is it fun to live there? That's very important because you're gonna be staying there. If it's undergrad, that's gonna be 4 years. I used to prepare to apply to a very famous university called University of Urbana-Champaign, and it's just in the middle of a cornfield. If you zoom in of the Google Maps, that's why, you know, some of the places, although they have the big names, but probably consider the location from another perspective, right? And also location-wise, are there job opportunities for after graduation or doing internships during the school? And doing internships does not, you know, sometimes doesn't even require you go on the LinkedIn. If you have a good relationship with the professors and the faculty members there, you can just ask them for referrals. And most of the time they're kindly enough to refer you if they know you for a long time. Or if you decide to bail out of the school, could you find a job? And the bail, I understand like the bailout plan might not really be that important, but it's also something to think about whether or not that's important to you. Right, so what kind of background they want? Programs with computational in the name seem like a good fit for a computer science person, but look around on their websites to see how well their programs line up with your interest. For example, degree program, be sure to email. For example, Masters of Science, Bachelor of Science is not always the case where they gave out you know, STEM extension. So for example, when I was applying to a business school from Boston University, and one of their business program, most of their business programs are labeled as Master of Science, but only like 1 or 2 is actually count as a STEM majored program. So definitely be sure to email the admission office. Otherwise, you will definitely overlook that. Also, on the other hand, what kind of classes you're gonna take. So I graduated with the computer science degrees during my undergrad. The key there is that sometimes we do have different paths for students to graduate from. Say, for example, data strategy or AI, right? But you need to take a look at what kinds of classes you're gonna take. Those classes are all gonna be listed on the official websites. So if the classes sound boring, that's a real red flag. Okay, so moving on to the next portion is the personal statements. I do think this is especially important with task optional nowadays almost everywhere. I for sure know that some of the schools I go into, I successfully applied to and got accepted from. They definitely like my personal statements a lot more than my test grades. I was not a very strong student in terms of test scores. So personal statements, starting essays really sucks. It's like a ketchup bottle where nothing is coming out until it does. So you have to force yourself to put on something onto the page, even though 100% of the time it's going to be rewritten later, and you will cringe when you read your first draft. And that does not stop happening no matter how old you get. So for example, when I was doing my undergrad essay, I was constantly rewriting it all the time. For different programs, they have different topics, especially if those school does not fall into the Common App. You're going to have multiple essays ready when you want to apply. And just, you know, the strategy is just trying to start with just a list of points you want to make within the framework of whatever the statements prompt is for a program. Be sure at this early stage to include at least a few points that say directly why your background and interests align well with the objectives of the program to which you're applying to. And if you can't think of any good reasons why it's a good match, then that's another red flag. So for example, if I'm a computer science student that really want to focus on the AI or the algorithm path, and I look at another program, it's called like computational finance or something, and they want somebody who's passionate about finance. And when I was applying to it, I realized, oh, I actually just want to stay on the hardcore programming side. That's probably not the program you will get into, or even if you get into, you're not going to be happy in the program. And there's no problem having safety school, but whenever possible, let's also make sure the backup plan is also something we're excited about. When I was doing my second application, which is the graduate school application, I applied to a bunch of Ivy League school, but also at the same time, I applied to a bunch of school on the West Coast. There was a school named Pepperdine University, which is probably one of the most beautiful campus, and it's right next to the Malibu. The reason I applied to it, it's like I love the location. They have a good business program, but to a lot of people, those are like that's probably the school on the bottom of the list, which we still should make that on our list, because I want to go there. Even if I've got accepted only to Pepperdine University, I'll still go, right? And excellent advice from me is that to take technical writing course in undergrad. This is a course that's offered in most colleges and different programs. The course is going to prepare you mainly for writing graduate applications, and also it's going to strengthen your writing a lot. My minor, creative writing, on the other hand, it's about poetry and fiction or nonfiction writing. And technical writing course is going to prepare you for a variety of writing opportunity in academia. For example, lab report and literature review or research paper. And for the application, you have to figure out that if it's a common application, or do they have like individual online portal, or do they have interviews? Some of the undergrads, even years ago, they want you to film video interviews by yourself and send to them. So be sure to check out, do a Excel sheet to list all the programs you're applying to. So a common question I got from a lot of parents and students is that, is ranking like overrated? I discussed this matter with a variety of professors, even the professors in Ivy League. I'd say that, and they would say this too, ask any professors, they'd say that top ranked stuff is a little bit overrated. And obviously, if everything else is equal, go for it if it's an option. But frequently, I think people make themselves very unhappy by sacrificing other things they want in exchange to have a big name school or professor or whatever on their resume. And do keep in mind, especially for undergrad application, that US News is owning a magazine. And this is my personal experience. So resume is very important if you want to apply to grad school. Make yourself shine. Some of the big names, internship experience or otherwise eye-opening experiences will get you through a lot of doors. And plan ahead, like really. So for undergrad application, be sure to start probably 2 years earlier to do the test prep. And start you thinking about how to phrase your personal statement. And personal statement is really more than a trip down the memory lane. I believe if you really put in hard work to do your personal statement, it really gives a good look at yourself of what kind of person you want to be in say the next 2 to 3 years, and it's gonna help to shape your passion. Because when you ask constantly ask the question of, what do you want to do in the future, that's when your personal statement will come out the best. And Harmonyplus can actually help you through the STEM application and any application in general. So we include college counseling, high school application, and 4-year of planning, summer program, test preparation, SAT, GRE. We do them all, internships, and we can help you locate internships even for high school students. And we also can assist if you want to transfer from a university to another. So there are 2 programs that's focused on STEM that's going to be offered this summer. The first is Kaggle training program, which ran from June 13th to August 10th. It's an 8 weeks program, Monday, Wednesdays from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the West Coast. And we have a fascinating faculty member named Dr. Jan. She is amazing. She actually graduated from Columbia as well. But she already made a lot of students and their parents proud. So this is the Kaggle training program, and it's a product developed by Google, which will provide participants with data from real-world problems. So the second one is data strategy. It runs from June 28th to July 28th. It's a 5-week program, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's led by our celebrity professor from UC Berkeley, Professor Dr. Greg LeBlanc. So these 2 programs are specifically tailored for students who want to apply for STEM programs. Data strategy listed here does not equal to programming. It's also a good tool to have for even business students, for example, business analytics. And those will all be my information from now. And please email us if you have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiger. Thanks for sharing and your personal story. And thank you for your sharing.
Thank you, Catherine.